Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the season finale of Outcast, This Little Light. So, overall, I've really enjoyed this series because it fits kind of a really good role of like horror and thriller and kind of not understanding what's going on until a little bit later, and even then, just kind of what you need to know as it's still going on. It's slower paced and kind of more methodical with its thriller aspects, but it's not to the point where you're like spinning wheels, sitting like there's no forward movement. There's always kind of a forward movement, and it was nice to have this season finale wrap up what's been going on so far. Like, this is the first arc's closing, and it didn't completely wrap everything up, but it wrapped up everything that we had been going through to this kind of conclusion of the beginning. So the big part of this was trying to find Megan and deal with the Megan situation since she had been possessed. So we get kind of everything going on right off the bat, kind of from the last episode where Kyle got the phone call from his daughter that Aunt Megan had been possessed. And we kind of see her kind of moving around, kind of acclimating to the possession. And it was really freaky seeing her kind of like touching Mark's eyeball like that. That was really good and kind of effective, showing how the kind of parasite slash demon thing kind of takes it to effect. They're trying to understand the world around them through a human's eyes, because as we see with the black goo and everything coming out, their natural form is not corporeal, or as corporeal as we use it. So they're still trying to figure out what's going on, because it's interesting to see them kind of messing around with the world, because we're so used to we have kind of mastered the stage at this point that we're watching it, but it's kind of like babies trying to figure out what's going on with the world, how their bodies react, what's a threat, what's not a threat, and kind of, it was interesting seeing that juxtaposed with Amber and Holly, who are like getting more food and they're like trying to creep out and everything, and then Holly's freaking out because her dad's dead, but Amber, it's interesting to see how fast that she has kind of grown up with this situation, and that it's already happened with her mother, and she already knows the telltale signs now that something has gone completely horribly wrong, and takes Holly and they hide in the closet. And it was like really kind of crazy, like what was Megan gonna do to these kids? So Reverend Anderson and Kyle get in, and we find out that Megan really didn't do anything to him, just like escaped and kind of went on her way. And we kind of see this kind of back and forth kind of chasing, and that Reverend Anderson and Kyle are trying to find her, and she's trying to do something. We don't know exactly in the moment what she's trying to find or whatnot, but we kind of get clues that, now that I'm thinking back, kind of explain her kind of rationale to a degree. She's probably trying to find signs that are familiar, that are kind of safe for her. Because we see that going through, they drop Amber and Holly off at Giles, because Giles and his wife are the only ones that they know at the moment aren't possessed. So they're like, can you take them? We kind of have to find Megan. They explain it to Giles, and I love that he's like, listen, I'll help my friends and everything, but how am I supposed to explain that it was not her that did it? A man is murdered, is dead. And it was I love seeing Giles doing that kind of stuff. He's become one of my favorite characters in the show. And of course there's a lot, because I like Reverend Anderson, I like Kyle. It's just, he's really methodical and kind of doing stuff that I would be doing. He's like, listen, I understand I want to help you guys, but a dude's murdered. That's not something you can readily just sweep under the rug. You kind of have to do something with that. So he's like agreeing to kind of help them, and they're kind of going through. And it was interesting because they've got their police scanner now, and they went off to a scene to try and see if that was Megan. And come to find out it wasn't. It was just some hyped up drug person, and it was a nice kind of tension building. It's like they really need to get to Megan, because Kyle's explaining, I think it's got to deal with how long the demons have been inside of the person. If it's a couple days, I kind of have a good shot. A couple hours, I've got a good shot. But after that kind of rationale, I either can't do it, or if I do it, it removes something from the person. So there's a very finite window that he's got. And as they're doing that, we see Megan going through, and she finally ends up at Kyle's house because we see Sydney looking through and seeing somebody's broken in. We're like, it's got to be Megan. So he gets his people up, and they cart her to the conversion place that they have set up, because we also see Kat and Lenny taking care of someone else, and she had stabbed out her eyeball, so she's trying to take care of her. And it was really kind of effective to see that, and also see Kyle and Reverend Anderson kind of doing their detective work. It's like, listen, you think of these things as demons completely and utterly, and that works to a certain extent, but you got to open your mind. It's like, what do these things want? And then they start going through. It's like, okay, they're afraid. They don't know what's going on. They try and find comfort and stuff like that, and something familiar is like, she's looking for me. So they go off to the house, and they get there, and it's like, oh God, and they'd already taken Megan at that point, and there's, of course, the note left there. We also see Aaron, Patricia's son, being a complete and utter asshole. I mean, this kid, yes, he has had to deal with some stuff, but he is willfully choosing to be an asshole and do these bad things because he thinks it makes him powerful and mighty. It's very good character development, but it's grating to see what he's doing, because he then breaks into Giles' house and kidnaps Amber. And it's like, this kid needs... Seriously, dude, you have no idea what you're messing with this. And, of course, that's when Kyle sees the note and everything. Giles is explaining to Reverend Anderson on the phone that the kid broke into his house and said, if I ever find that kid, I'm killing him. And I'm like, you gotta have a set of brass balls on you to break into the police chief's own personal home and commit that kind of stuff. So that's when Kyle reads the note and everything and drives off to meet Sydney, and it was the tension and everything that they build in the show is just done very well. And Sydney's just like, put the bag over your head and get in there. You'll get your answers and everything. So that's going on like that. And Reverend Anderson's kind of in the back at the moment, we don't know what he's doing. So Kyle's taken there, locked in a room with his daughter Amber, and Sydney's kind of explaining, we have to leave where we're at. We can't stay there. And you're the same as us. So that's an interesting thing, in that whatever these entities are, demons, some kind of parasite, extra-dimensional beings or whatnot, that we don't have any concept of yet. Because we've seen that holy water and relics kind of have an effect on them, but yet the only thing that's really had the true effect on them has been Kyle. And he is, we have now learned, is part of them. And he's come ahead of them or something to that effect. We still don't have the full answers, but it just shows the bond and everything. He's like, well, we gotta leave where we're at. So it's like, okay, it's a refugee kind of exodus kind of thing. Really kind of interesting to put that in perspective, because then it's kind of, yes, they are taking over people and taking over their will and making them act completely differently and sometimes evilly. But we don't know exactly their situation, and I'm fascinated to find out what that kind of situation is and what kind of other motives, hierarchies these creatures have, and how Kyle is wrapped up in all that. So he's locked in trying to figure out how to get his daughter out, and then we see Reverend Anderson had been tailing Sydney and goes in and pretty much starts trying to get him out, and Megan's there as well. So Kat and Lenny kind of let everything kind of loose, because they're like, oh crap, we gotta get out of here, because there's a tussle between Reverend Anderson and Lenny, and it was a pretty good action scene, because they're not known for their physicality, but fighting like this kind of shows the stakes that are involved, because these are people and their livelihoods and who they are, who exactly their core being is, that they're trying to fight and protect, and it's a big thing. So it's like, crap, Lenny's just trying to make sure him and his wife are safe, and they're able to escape, and Reverend Anderson's kind of getting attacked by one of the possessed, and Kyle's able to get out and not beat on her, but use his hands on her and expel the demon. That's when it brings into effect that Megan's there, and that was tense and very just it was scary because I'm like, what is she going to do to the daughter? What's she going to do? And Kyle was very smart and being like, Megan, it's me here. And then she started launching at him. And they're getting in their tussle, trying to get into a position. And of course, she's trying to draw whatever power or connection the beings have from Kyle. And then that's when we learn that Amber has the same powers as her father. So that means she is also from where these demons are as well, because she lays her hands on Aunt Megan and expels the demon. Now, that still leads to the effect that we don't know how this is going to affect the baby that she has. Or is she even still pregnant? What kind of repercussions are going to be had with that? That's the stuff that I'm really excited to learn about in the next season. So they're explaining that Mark's gone. It's a very tough and kind of heart-wrenching scene, and she's like, I don't know what's been going on. My husband's dead. What? I'm pregnant. It's great to see kind of like her crushed because she did it very well, and it's just like, oh my god. So, well, after they're finished with that, Kyle's like, all right, I'm going to take Amber. We're kind of like going to get out of here because we're not safe for trying to get out of here. So Reverend Anderson also tried to one-up Sydney, and I could tell when the scene was going on what was going to kind of happen because Sydney's smart. He wouldn't let himself get trapped like this. So Reverend Anderson burns down the trailer that Sydney's been staying in, and of course someone's inside and doesn't make it out, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct in my guess that Aaron was the one that was inside. Granted, he did deserve some kind of justice for what he's been doing for people, but it's just like, ooh, it's bad because Reverend Anderson's then going to have that on his mind because he even sees the next morning Sydney's pulling through. He's like, I thought I killed him, and Patricia hasn't seen her son, and one answered, oh my god, I killed him. You could see, even though he's lying to Patricia, it's like he's still processing the fact that he killed someone that wasn't his target. And it was like, oh god. So that is going to be really, really cool stuff to dig into in the next season. And then, the way this ended was really amazing. I really liked how they did it. They were building the bond between Kyle and Amber, and they're like, okay, we're going to try and go someplace where all those people aren't, and then once it's safe, I'll bring mommy, and we'll all be good. And he's trying to, like, get her to be comfortable and everything. All right, let me get you a blue icy. As they're trying to make their way in the gas station, all these people kind of stop and just stare at them. And it's like, oh my god, these people are possessed as well. And they're like freaking out. It's like, it's very Invasion of the Body Snatchers-esque. Because it's, you don't know who's who, and then when you do know, it's like, these people pinpoint you out just like that. And it's just like really creepy and effective, and then you just see it ending on her face, and it's like, oh my god. This is so much more widespread than we believed. I mean, we thought this was just one thing in a town, but it was, oh my god, I really want to know what's going on with the next season and everything after, because this was a great thing about the show. It always leaves you kind of wanting more, and not in a bad way. The cliffhangers are done very well in that they want you to know more, but you're not completely crushed, like, that's where the story cut off. It's not abrupt. I mean, yeah, it's a little abrupt, but it's like, it's at always a good spot to pick right off, and you're like, okay, I want to know what happens. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for it to come back on. But I'm still excited to see what's coming back on, so I will tune in next time. So, those are my overall opinions of the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.